Hello everyone and welcome back to more Let's Play Stardew Valley. In the last episode we went ahead and checked out the mines, made a decent bit of progress there. Today I'm going to start off by checking the fortune teller. Okay, spirits are in good humor. With that being the case, I'm actually going to go back down into the mines. Oh, get a little cutscene from Clint here. Oh, this is because we went down into the mines. Yeah, that's pretty good. Oh, okay, nice. I've been waiting for this. Oh, well thanks, Clint. Nice, and now we know how to craft furnaces. This will be extremely useful. As Flint is explaining here, we can smelt our ore into bars that we can use for crafting, not crafts necessarily, construction, and tool upgrades, most importantly. In order to get tool upgrades, we're going to need to see Clint at his shop, which I showed, I believe, towards the end of the first episodes. Once again, I'm kind of one step ahead of him here in explaining that. He's not kidding either. Upgrading your tools will make things a lot easier, and it's something we want to do as soon as possible. Let's see. Marlon's got a little quest for us to slay some slimes here. Looks like we got another letter as well. Oh, Robin's telling us that she can build us a well with 75 stones and 1,000 gold. Don't do this. It's not worth it at all. Because you've got the pond right down here, which is free. So first things first, I'm actually going to go ahead and take... Oops, not this chest. I'm going to go ahead and take my watering can and hoe out, because I want to get some of this land ready to plant more crops. So I'm looking at the day here. It's the 6th. Okay, if potatoes take 6 days to mature, then that means they'll be ready on the 13th, which actually isn't any good. As I mentioned in the last video, the egg festival on the 13th, you're going to want to have as much money as possible for the strawberries there. One thing to note, though, is that since the town will be closed for the festival, you actually won't be able to sell anything to Pierre or to anyone else on the day of the 13th. So you want to have everything ready by the day before, the 12th. That being the case, I'm just going to go ahead and pick up some more parsnip seeds, and plant those here. So they'll be ready by the 11th, if I'm mathing this out correctly in my head. Oh, one other thing I want to do, as long as I'm thinking about it, is I want to craft myself a Scarecrow. You can see it's not too much to craft. We just need 1 coal, 20 fiber, and 50 wood, which I believe we should have all of that in here. Yeah, we've got enough. And then I'll take coal from here. Definitely want to craft this. This is one of the more important things to have. I'll go ahead and put everything back now. And basically the way that scarecrows work is that there is a radius that they will protect crows from. It kind of goes outward from the center of the... Or rather, outward from wherever you put the scarecrow. I'll just put them right here. The range actually goes, I believe, 8 tiles out each direction as well as diagonally. So this should protect our whole farm here from being eaten by crows. Crows. They've quickly become my worst enemy in this particular playthrough. The asymmetry of this scarecrow is bothering me slightly, but I'll live with it. Okay, so it's 8:30, so I'm going to go into town and hit up Pierre's for some more parsnip seeds. Let me count something here real quick. Okay, so these are 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 32 plus 6 up here. Excuse me, 6 up here is 38. 42. 49. Okay, so we currently have room for 49 parsnip seeds. Actually, I can actually make even another row now that I think about it. So another row of 8 would be 55. Oh, okay, here's the community center cutscene I've been talking about. Oh, hi there. I'm not gonna do voices. I decided in that one sentence I'm not gonna do voices. Yeah, it is a bit of an eyesore, isn't it? It looks pretty run down. Oh. Yeah, I actually used to work at a community center myself, so it's funny because when I first heard community center, I was like, oh, this is awesome. Maybe I can work at it like my actual job. And then I came and saw this, and I'm like, oh, this isn't quite what I had in mind. Yeah, so see, Joja's trying to get Lewis to sell him the community center. Now, this is a very important line of dialogue to keep in mind. I showed you Joja Mart at the end of the first video. Basically, if you go in there, you can pay a certain amount of gold and become a member of Joja Corp. If you do that, Lewis will sell the community center to them, and this will become a warehouse for Joja instead. And that will actually affect what kind of a playthrough that you have in this game. We'll get into more details of exactly what that means here in a bit. What he's talking about there when he says Vincent Jazz has been playing is this little treehouse right here. What the? Looks like something's waving to us. What is this thing? Of course, it disappeared as soon as Lewis turned around. Are you ill? I totally forgot about that line. Oh, that doesn't quite look like a rat. Also, I love the face that it's making right there. Then again, we have seen, I mean, there are monsters in this world. Like, people know that there are slimes and stuff down in the mines. So I don't know why it's too surprising why little creatures like that would exist, but hey, Lewis says that he'll keep it unlocked from now on. So we can come in here anytime we please now. Yeah, that was strange, wasn't it? So that cutscene at the end, it said I'll have to come back and explore further. I'm actually going to do that right now. What you want to do after initially opening this place up is you want to come over here to this room. You might notice there's this little, oh, another one of those things that disappeared. There's this glowing tablet here. In a language we can't read. From what I understand, you can actually, like, decode this if that's something you're into. There is an actual cipher for that language. I've never been good at doing that myself, but we'll be able to read that soon enough, viewers. Okay, so what I actually came into town to do... Oh, you can see that took a lot more time than I wanted to as well, but that's alright. What I actually wanted to do is come down here to Pierre's. And we're going to go ahead and buy some more seeds. Parsnips in particular. Now, what did I say? I currently have room for 55 if I include a new row. Let's see if we can even buy that many. That'll be fine. We'll have a little bit of leftover gold. Yeah, that's fine. Although I'm wondering... Nah, this is fine. I almost went back and bought some more, but I'll just get on with it and plant what I've got. So I'm going to need to hoe out a new row, as well as water it all. Now, this is kind of... speaking of hoeing... Okay, we got some more stone there. Now, this is kind of the point where I'm probably planting a little more than you want to on your first playthrough, just because you'll be using a lot of energy to get all this stuff watered. Which is why, for the way I'm playing in particular, it's important to get those spring onions and other free food. Which, depending on how much time we have, I kind of want to go check to see if there's more of that, but more of those, rather, spring onions. But I also want to get some mining or fishing in today. I haven't decided which just yet. So let's go ahead and hoe out yet another row here. And then I'll meet you after I get this all watered. Okay, we're back. I got all this all watered here. You can see that actually didn't take me too long. So let's go ahead and plant all these parsnip seeds now. And you might be wondering, well, you know, you said you wanted to save up money in order to get strawberry seeds, so why'd you just buy more parsnip seeds? I'm doing this just to generate a little bit more of a profit, and honestly, it's worth it. It might not seem worth it necessarily, but the amount that you get back from these parsnip seeds... Oh, I actually miscounted by 3, looks like. The amount of money that you get from these parsnip seeds is definitely worth it, so you go ahead and plant them as you buy more. So I'm going to go ahead and put this away, and let's see, I'm just checking my situation here as far as like stuff to eat. So I've got 8 spring onions left. Let's see, it's 1:30 p.m. I'm still debating if I want to fish or if I want to mine today. It is important to make progress in the mine, but we also want to have as much money as we can to fish, or for strawberry seeds rather. You know, I think I am actually just going to do some fishing. Yeah, because like I said, we really just want to get as much money as we can by the 13th. Let's see, I've got a decent bit of energy left. Excuse me, I'm actually going to go ahead and put these away. And I'll keep my spring onions on me, sure. So I'm going to go into town to fish. I'm just trying to think, actually. Yeah, the river in town is closest. I'm just going to go back here and fish, so. Sorry if this is a little boring, just being like, oh, she's going to go fish yet again. But, you know, like I said, a good way to make money. I'll probably end up cutting most of the fishing out unless I talk over it. And like I said, once it gets later, even later in spring, honestly after the 13th, I won't be doing nearly as much fishing. After that, I'll mainly just be fishing just to get stuff for the community center. Because once those strawberries start coming in, let me tell you, we're gonna have far more money than fishing could ever get you at this point in the game. Speaking of fishing, there goes Willy. That's weird. I don't think I've ever seen him come up through here. I wonder what he was doing over here. Normally, Willy just either stays, you know, by the docks or in the saloon. That is so interesting. I've never seen him walk this way. Kind of makes me want to go look up his schedule and see what he was doing over there. Since I haven't explicitly mentioned it yet, or I don't think I've mentioned it at all, rather, the Stardew Wiki is very, very helpful for playing through this game. Now, I'm one of those kinds of people who are like, you know, especially in my first playthrough of a game, but even in general, I don't like using walkthroughs or guides. It just feels like it, for most games, it feels like it cheapens the experience for me. This is one game, though, where using the wiki will definitely not cheapen the experience at all. In fact, it'll be very, very helpful to go ahead and check that out. Because on the wiki, it'll show you what everyone's schedules are during each day of each season throughout the year. I fondly refer to those as stalker charts, so you can use those to adequately stalk the villagers. Very helpful if you're trying to, oh, this just sounds bad. Very helpful if you're trying to woo a certain someone in particular. And I don't mean, I'm not alluding coyly to a certain character, I just mean if you're trying to find a character to increase your social points with them, using those charts is a good way of figuring out where they are. Because it will change not only season to season, but even day to day where they go and what they do. Oh, here's Leah. I think she likes spring onions. Let's try giving her one. No, don't eat it. Yeah, okay. Leah, let's talk to her too. Yeah, if you actually go by Leah's cabin, she actually does get pretty into her decorations. You'll see in fall, she'll put up like Halloween stuff. I think she puts a wreath on her door in winter. Leah tends to like forageables. Most people in the game actually don't. If you try to pick them up, if you try to give them stuff you just pick up on the ground, most of them won't be into that. Leah, though, she likes forageables. As far as things that she loves, because each character will have basically different tiers of items they like. They can either love something, or they can just like it. They can be meh, either way. They can dislike it, or they can hate what you give them too. So for Leah's love items, things that she loves, I know wine is up there. Salad is something that she really, really likes. And Leah spends a decent amount of time in the saloon where you can actually buy salads. So that's pretty convenient if you're trying to get hearts up with her. I'll probably be doing that more later in the series. This first half of spring, I really want to focus on getting money for strawberry seeds, though. See, we got some more bait here. Oh, I did it again. You know, as soon as I saw the bar shake, I thought to myself, I hope I'm not overexerting. And sure enough, I went ahead and did it again. Yeah, normally, I'd like to think I'm a little bit better about watching that. Ooh, another chest. Normally, I'd like to think I'm a little bit better about watching that. I think it's because I'm trying to do commentary at the same time as I play the game. As you can tell on the channel, I'm still relatively new to Let's Playing. I've dabbled with it very briefly in the past, like, and by in the past, I mean, like, probably like 8 years ago, maybe even 9 or 10. I'll go ahead and eat all my spring onions here, and this algae too, I think, because, see, it's 6:10, yeah, we'll be able to get enough energy out of that. I have dabbled with Let's Playing very briefly in the past, so I've never, like, committed to a project the way I want to commit to this one. Okay, now that we've all eaten up, let's go ahead and cast out again. Oh, you can see Sam and Sebastian here. Sebastian, you okay? You're just kind of standing right behind me. No, that's because I'm actually standing in the spot that he would normally stand in at this time of day. And you can see when those dots appear over your, over someone's head, that means you're kind of like in their way. Because you can actually block NPCs from their preset paths. If you do, however, you know, after a certain amount of time, those ellipses will appear over their head, and they'll kind of just run past you to keep doing what they're doing. Let's see. Get that bar up a little bit before I come get this treasure. I'm actually glad I decided to fish today, because with the amount of treasures we've been picking up, this is kind of like mining in the same trip. Yeah, we'll keep this frozen geode. I know I threw that other one away earlier. It's not because it's a bad item to have, it's just because I was full on inventory space. The inventory problem we'll be solving later in spring, probably after our first strawberry harvest. Ideally before then, but if we can make a decent bit of money between planting the strawberry seeds and harvesting them, then I'll go ahead and use 1,000 gold to upgrade my inventory space. That is, I think, the most useful thing to have at this point in the game. I keep waiting for those treasure chests. I know I said in the last video that I've kind of had an unlucky playthrough in some aspects, but I will admit I've never gotten this many treasure chests this early in the game. That's another thing I just appreciate about this game in general, is that every one of your playthroughs is going to be different. Speaking of different, this fish is a little bit different from what we've been seeing, just the way it moved there. Oh no, it's just a smallmouth bass, never mind. Each playthrough of this game is going to be different, which is something I really, really like about this game. You'll never have the same game twice, and actually, I'm going to hook this fish in. I'm going to talk to that girl that walked by. That's Jazz. She's Marnie's niece, and I don't believe we've talked to her yet, as well as Shane's sister. You can see she's a little shy, but nothing wrong with that. But yeah, no two playthroughs of this game will ever be the same. Which is something, again, I really appreciate about the game. It kind of looks like our fishing bar went up, too. I think we hit fishing level 4. I don't actually know if getting those treasure chests affects your fishing or your mining level. I have to imagine it's still fishing, though. Okay, got some more bait here. We'll just combine that with the bait we already had. I kind of wish you could keep the chest itself and put it in your inventory. That'd be convenient, but chests are easy enough to make anyway. It's not that big of a deal. Let's see, it's 9 p.m. right now. Yeah, our bar is definitely bigger than before. I think we hit fishing level 4. Go ahead and check. Yeah, we did. Cool. Oh, see these bubbles that appeared down here. If you manage to land right in that spot, you'll immediately hook a fish right away. Guaranteed. However, the rod that we have now, this is, I believe, about the maximum length it'll cast out, so I couldn't get to that anyway. You might also notice that there's, like, deeper water here. I believe if you can get deeper in the water, you can get different fish. I don't know if that's the case. I might just be making that up. I do seem to recall hearing that somewhere, though. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and throw out this regular geode so we can get this smallmouth bass here. So it's about 10 p.m., so I think at, I'll say 11 I'll stop fishing. And the reason actually my fishing level is going up so quickly is because I'm making an effort to get all these perfects. Let's see. You know what? I'm actually just do one more cast after this since I'm about to run out of energy. Excuse me. Anyway. But yeah, I am trying to make an effort to get as many perfect casts as I can because that will give you more experience than just landing a fish. But this is also kind of what I'm talking about, too, about fishing getting easier as you can go on. You can see I now have a lot more leeway with that little green bar there. Okay, yeah, so this is definitely the last time we want to cast. And having that leeway is nice for getting perfect, which will in turn make you level up your fishing more quickly and increase your green bar even further. Looks like it's 11 p.m. anyway, so this actually worked out pretty perfectly. Okay. I'm going to mouse over the bait, sure. Again, I want to do that because I don't want to accidentally click the button and cast and then use up the rest of my energy. Although at this point, I don't suppose it really matters since I'm already exhausted. It would make getting back to the farm more difficult. I'll even show you. Let me go to options and I'll turn off auto run. See, this is how fast you would normally... or how fast you would move if you were exhausted, is that speed. So, not only does it give you an energy penalty for the next day, it also then becomes more difficult to get back to the house to get to bed on time, which can also be a pain. Okay, I'm going to take the coal out, and I'm going to put that and the geode in here. I want to save one of these sunfish... And I'll put away a smallmouth bass too, even though I don't think I need that for the community center. You can see we got a really good haul today, actually. Let's see, 6, 3, 9. Looks like we got like 17 fish. That'll sell for a really good amount. So the main question is, do I want to plant more parsnip seeds? Because today is Saturday the 6th, which means I think I would have enough time to grow another round of parsnips. I'm not going to, though. Main reason I'm not going to do that is because it would just take so much energy and so much time each day to water all those parsnips. I think at that point it wouldn't really be worth it anymore. Yeah, we made almost 1,000 gold during that. This is, again, why I'd say fishing is so important to do early in the game. Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and go to day 7 here. This will be a Sunday, so we're gonna want to go to the south and check the wagon again. First things first, let's check the TV. This is another reason you want to check the TV is this program here, the Queen of Sauce. And this program will actually teach you recipes. Like you see, we learned stir fry here. And now we know how to cook that. That won't be too important now. We actually don't have a kitchen in which to cook things. But in the letter we got from Robin, she actually alluded to the fact that she can upgrade our house to have a kitchen. We will want to do that, but that's not something you really have to do at this point in the game. Oh, look at that. We actually didn't suffer an energy penalty at all for being exhausted. That's really odd. I could have sworn you did. Maybe it just doesn't always happen. We'll check the weather, though. Looks like tomorrow will be bright and sunny again. And fortune teller says... somewhat mildly perturbed. I did want to mine today. I'll go ahead and do that anyway. I think we can still make a decent bit of progress on that. Okay. I thought some crows got to our crops here, but actually I remember we didn't have enough slots for that. Ooh, look at this font. West of the Forest Lake in the Stone Tower. We'll go ahead and visit him. And actually, since we're going to be doing that, I don't think we're actually going to go to the mines. I think it's going to be yet another fishing day after that. But at least we'll have something else to do today. Speaking of things to do, let me go ahead and take out this watering can. I'll go ahead and water my crops and meet you after I do that. Okay, we're back. I went ahead and got all the crops watered, and I took out some seaweed so I can have something to eat when I go fishing today. You can see here that watering all my crops actually took more than half of my energy, which again is what I was alluding to earlier about why I don't necessarily want to get more parsnip seeds right away and plant those, because I don't want to end up in a situation where I'm always starting the day with no energy. So something I noticed while I was watering here is that we actually have a forageable here. This is a Morel Mushroom, which these in real life are so delicious. I actually have memories. My grandparents used to have a cabin on a lake, and there'd be a forest nearby, and we'd always go pick these morels. But the morel is actually a forageable that normally we wouldn't be able to get at this point in the game. Normally, that's found in an area that we don't have access to just yet. That's yet another benefit of picking up the forest farm. And, what's this over here? Looks like some kind of shrine? Oh. Interesting. I wonder what he means by that. The dawn of the third year. Well, we'll find out more about that, well, much, much later. That is actually about the point I want to play up to in this playthrough, since I haven't explicitly mentioned that. I am going to do at minimum 2 years. And, well, first let me explain what I'm doing over here. I'm looking for more forageables, which is something I haven't been doing as much as I should have. It's the main reason to have the forest farm is for forageables like the morel and other things to appear. And I'm actually kind of stuck here, so I didn't bring my scythe or sword with me. Oh, jeez. So I'm going to have to walk all the way back around, aren't I? Yeah, oh well, it's not that big of a deal. But as I was saying, about how far I want to go with this playthrough is through the first 2 years in order to get to the start of the third year, and we'll see just what Grandpa means with that very cryptic note. First things first, though, I'm going to head down to the south here. I'm going to check out the wagon, as well as go ahead and meet that that fellow who sent me that strange letter. Oh, here's Jazz. Oh yeah, on Sundays in most seasons, Jazz will come over to this big tree over here and skip rope. So if you're looking for her to give her stuff, this is a good place to look. Alright, let's see what they're selling here. Ooh, this goat milk is probably going to be pretty useful. You see there's a rare seed here. I believe this is always in the wagon at the bottom of the list. At least I always see it here. It says, sow in fall and takes all season to grow. So since it's always here, we won't necessarily pick it up right away. This goat milk, 900 gold is kind of a big ask for this point in the game. And goat milk is a little bit hard to come by, but not so much so that I want to spend almost all of my funds on it. So, yeah, nothing too striking from the wagon this time. But again, it's always worth it to check. You do always want to check. Speaking of checking, I'm going to run down and yet again look for more spring onions. And after we do that, we'll go ahead and meet... we'll go to the stone tower that was alluded to earlier. Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm really glad I came to check this. And check to the, south again, because you see there's more here. Basically, these yellow patches are where you want to check for the spring onions. There's also a chance that some could spawn down here by the sewer grate as well. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, we can actually go ahead and meet another character that I just thought about just now, because he'll be on the way. Yeah, I haven't really explored this part of the, I just call this the valley, this part of the town. But as you can see, this is the old house. Remember that strange letter we got in the last video? We got that from the Hat Mouse here. He says, "Hey, you poke, you bring coins? Good, me sell hats." I love the Hat Mouse, even though you don't really get any cutscenes with him. He's just one of my favorite characters in the game. He's also the most reliable shop in the game. He's open literally every single day of the week. And I also think for longer than the other shop. You can see we can buy a nice little hat here, but again, that's 1,000 gold that I don't really want to spend at this point in the game. As the game progresses, you'll have more and more hats for you to buy, and I actually don't know what affects that, if I'm being quite honest. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and look for that tower, which should be around here somewhere. Yep, here it is. The letter said it would be to the west, so let's go ahead and go in here. Now, if you tried to come in here before you got that letter, this place would have been locked. And now we meet maybe even just my favorite NPC in the game, the Wizard. You can see he's got a cauldron, he's got a summoning circle, some kind of weird pedestal here. Rasmodius. I always forget his name, but just because the game always just refers to him as the Wizard. I'm kind of sorry I haven't been pausing and acknowledging more of the dialogue in this game. I don't really want to read it out loud, because, I mean, I'm not going to do voices, and I feel like, you know, you can read it yourself. But I am a little sad I haven't acknowledged more of it, because the dialogue in this game is actually really good. Whoa! It's that thing we saw earlier in the community center. Oh, it looks kind of scared. I have seen one before, yes. The Junimos, huh? They seem to acknowledge me, though. Okay, so they're not bad spirits. That's good to know. Oh, yeah, we did find that scroll in the last episode, didn't we? Oh, okay. So I guess we'll just kind of wait for him here. Ooh, he's got some nice candles on the desk as well. I forgot he comes back in through the door. Oh, looks like he found it already. Oh, nice. See, we the Junimo, happy to aid you. In return, we ask for gifts of the valley. If you are one with the forest, then you will see the true nature of this scroll. As I read the dialogue box after I just said I wasn't going to do that. I wonder indeed what they mean by one with the forest. Oh, I skipped over that portrait box. Oh, yeah. I really like this face that the wizard makes. Having us come over to the cauldron here. Oh, well, that's convenient. If you say so. Yeah, you can see even my character is, like, not super into this. Ugh. It's kind of hard to tell, but I actually turned green and I'm gagging here. And, looks like I'm kind of tripping out, too. I actually totally forgot about this part of the cutscene. Yeah, there are some interesting cutscenes in this game. And you can see here there is a skip option if you've already, you know, played the game a couple of times, but obviously I'm not going to be doing that for this playthrough. Alright, so now we can read those Junimo scrolls ourselves, and with this we can actually now start working on the community center. If you come to your menu here, you might notice that there's an option here for the community center that wasn't there before. So this is the meat and potatoes of the game, and this is what I've been alluding to all these videos when I say, oh, do the community center year one. I'm talking about getting these items here. You see, the Junimo are actually asking for certain items to be brought to the community center. You can see for this bundle here, they're looking for one of each foraging item. You can see there's winter foraging as well. There's one for summer as well as fall. There's also a construction bundle. And and the exotic foraging bundle. You can see a Morel is actually one of the items for the exotic foraging bundle, which is why I was pretty excited to get one so early. You might notice that the cave carrot is one as well. You might, if you have a good memory, you might have remembered that the wagon was actually selling a couple of cave carrots. These, however, will be very easy to come by pretty shortly in the game, so I'm not going to bother buying one just yet. Now, one thing to note is that even though you can view what items you need to take to the community center here, you see I can't, it must be deposited at the community center. So you do have to, you do actually have to physically go to the building to drop this stuff off. Now, you might notice at the bottom that it says that the reward for this is bridge repair. Basically, once we complete all of these bundles, there will be a bridge in town that will get repaired, which I haven't shown just yet, but we'll see at some point. It's not really important to go to now. In addition to getting a reward for turning all of this stuff in, there's also individual rewards for completing individual bundles. And as we complete more of these bundles, more rooms in the community center will open up. Now, once you finish the community center, you'll get quite a big reward. I won't say just what you'll get right away, but it is definitely worth it, and this is something you want to do. Now, oh, here's Leah. I'm going to go ahead and give her a dandelion. Let's talk to her again. Oh, yeah, see, Leah's actually an artist. She'll work on sculptures and paintings, and if you go into her house, you can actually see those, but we don't have, we're not good enough friends with her just yet to get in there. Now, you can see that Leah has moved to the top of my social list. This means that I am better friends with her than anyone else on the social list, even though I don't have any of these hearts filled in just yet. You might also notice that it says single by her name, as well as Haley and certain other villagers. If they say single by their name, then they are eligible for you to date and eventually marry. You might also notice that people who are single have 2 grayed out hearts here next to their name, whereas other people have 10. And basically what that means is that when you get to 8 hearts with one of these single villagers, then you can start dating them. At that point, these 2 hearts will open up, and then if you get to 10, then you are able to propose to them, and they'll marry you. Which is kind of, now that I'm thinking about it, doesn't make a whole lot of sense that, you know, you can get to 10 hearts with people, like you can get up to the point where these other people who aren't single would theoretically marry you, but, in any case, let's not dwell on it too much. You'll also notice here on this side that there are there are presents with 2 little check marks next to them. What this means is you can only give gifts to people 2 times a week, so that you can't just bombard them with gifts day after day to make them fall in love with you super quickly. So this these tallies here will indicate how many times you've given people gifts on any given week, which is actually very nice. You can see here there's still a handful of people we haven't met yet, including Sam, even though we've seen him like 3 different times now and I've talked about him. Let's see, I'm looking at the time here, and it's not too late to do some fishing. I might go try to meet the rest of these people, though. I'm just thinking one in particular I know I can't really get a hold of at the moment, so I'll actually save that for later. I will try to keep an eye out for those people, though. Okay, so now I have a decision to make. Do I want to go to the community center and drop stuff off? Do I want to try talking to people, or do I just want to fish? Spoiler alert, I think I'm just going to end up fishing. And I'll probably just end up doing that for the rest of this day, the rest of the video at that matter. I'm actually surprised we've met as many people in town as we have so far. I was kind of thinking to myself at the end of the last video, like that I've been neglecting doing that. But I guess that's not necessarily the case, so that's good. And again, getting introduced to everyone in town, I think the reward is maybe 100 gold. So it's not something that you really have to rush into doing right away. But it is nice just to get out of the way. Oh, and you can see our little exclamation point here is shaking. That means that we've finished a quest. So after I get this fish, I'll go ahead and show you that. I believe that'll be the cultivate a parsnip quest that we've finished. Okay. Oh, and we have a bunch of new quests to do as well. I actually have kind of a bad habit of not checking my journal as often as I should. So let's see. Yep. Marlin, I was trying to remember his name. Marlin from the Adventurers Guild sent us a letter about this, slaying 10 slimes. We'll do that, you know, as we progress through the game. You can see that a lot of these quests, there's actually not a time limit that you have to do them in, so you can kind of just save them for whenever. Crafting a furnace, that is something that we should definitely do today, if I remember to. Oh, this is the advancement side quest for crafting a Scarecrow. You can see we get 100 gold for that. Raising animals is something we get after we cultivate a parsnip. You'll unlock this quest. So you see, Robin can actually build you, as I've said before, buildings, including a chicken coop. That's not something we're going to worry about until like the end of spring at earliest. You can see we have another quest here to reach level 40 in the mines. That we'll be doing probably within the next couple of videos or so. Again, I'm just kind of waiting for a good luck day and also for the latter half of spring to get more into that. You definitely want to reach... excuse me. You definitely want to reach level 40 in the mines by the end of spring, I would say. There's not a specific timed reason you want to. It's just something that... It's good to make the progress in the mines. And I'd say you're making good progress if you hit level 40 by the end of spring. You can see getting started. This is for planting the parsnip. And then introductions, which we still have... Oh, 4 people to meet? I thought it was only 3. Let me take a look here again. Oh no, it is 4. Look at that. Okay, well that's fine. I'm just gonna go back to fishing though. I am actually really eager to get back into the mines though, because as I said in the last video, mining is actually just my favorite part of this game. And in a perfect world, you know, I said level 40 by the end of spring is good progress for the mine. I'd like to go even twice as deep down as that. I'd like to get down to level 80 if possible. I won't say just yet how many levels there are in the mine. Just know that, well, I guess I have alluded to the fact that there are at least 80 of them. Okay, let's see. Ooh. I didn't think I was going to keep up with that one. There's Smallmouth Bass. I might, next time I fish, I actually might want to try going up to the lake by the mines to fish, because you can actually catch different kinds of fish there. At this point in the game, though, I'm not super worried about getting all the different kinds of fish for the community center, so I'm just going to stick to my usual spot at the river here. I guess I could kind of take this opportunity to vlog, as long as there's not a whole lot going on in the game here. I don't know. I don't know that I have a whole lot to talk about at the moment. I guess I could talk about the channel itself. I'm really excited to be doing these Let's Plays. And don't worry, Stardew Valley isn't going to be the only Let's Play that you'll be seeing. In fact, by the time this video goes up, you might have already seen some videos from different games. You know, now though that I have a PC that I'm satisfied with, and I've actually had this PC for maybe a year and a half now. In the past, what has stopped me from doing Let's Plays that I've really only ever had laptops, or as I affectionately refer to them, crap tops. And not having a good desktop is kind of what stops me, as well as not having access to a good mic as well. But now that I'm afforded, you know, more of those amenities, so to speak, now I can really actually get into this and make the quality of Let's Play that I wanted to make. Because, you know, I said earlier that, you know, I made a few, and by a few I mean like maybe 3 or 4 Let's Play videos, you know, 7, 8, maybe even 9 years ago. I don't remember exactly how long ago. But they weren't good quality, you know, the mic. I had a MacBook at the time, and I was just using the MacBook's mic. I wasn't using editing software at all. I wasn't editing my videos at all, nor was I using Audacity either to record my audio separately. So the quality, I just wasn't satisfied with them at all, which is kind of why I stopped doing them. And I know, you know, I'm sure I'm going to get this comment at some point, and it's a thought I've had too. I get it. It's 2019. Let's Playing is... I don't want to call it dead just yet, but it's definitely on its way out. Streaming is kind of the way to go. And you might be wondering, you know, Lex, why don't you just stream instead? I just prefer the Let's Play format personally, because I don't feel as pressured, like, to interact with people. I am, you know, an introvert myself, and when I live stream, I kind of feel more of a need to acknowledge chat or the audience in particular. I also don't I'm not really into the fact that, you know, obviously if I'm streaming casually early on, there'll be a lot of times where I just have 0 viewers, and I kind of feel like, you know, if I have 0 viewers, and I'm not recording the video to keep for later, which I know you can do on Twitch, but I don't know if I want to do that just yet. Okay, let me actually stop here to talk about driftwood. Driftwood is trash, but it's actually trash that you want to save. Because driftwood can be given to Leah. Leah actually loves driftwood. Don't try to give it to anybody else. Everybody else will hate it. But since Leah's an artist, she'll use it for her sculptures and such. So I'm actually going to go ahead and toss out one of these dandelions. And then, oh, I didn't think it'd fall in the water. What I wanted to do was just go ahead and like eat this golden dandelion so that I could go ahead and get that back. I didn't think it'd fall right in the water. As I was saying, though, live streams, I actually have done them in the past, and I'm not opposed to doing them more in the future. But Let's Plays are kind of more my alley as far as just, you know, I just get to more or less talk to myself. It just feels more... It's something I'm more comfortable doing at this point in time. Again, that said, though, like I said, I'm definitely open to doing live streams in the future. Oh, there's Abigail. We haven't talked to her yet. Let's go ahead and get this fish, and then we'll say hi to her. Okay. Yeah, I've felt that plenty of times, Abigail. Interestingly enough, though, I think she goes to an online school. Or an online college, rather. I don't know whether or not she explicitly states that, but the town of Stardew doesn't have its own school. You might also notice Penny walking around a lot with Vincent and Jazz. That's because she's their unofficial teacher. Since the town doesn't have a school, she's, well, giving them an education. Which, good for her. I really appreciate that she's doing that. But yeah, as I was saying, I'll probably... actually almost assuredly do streams in the future, but I kind of wanted to focus on Let's Plays first and foremost. I also just really like the Let's Play format. You know, I've been watching Let's Plays for literally a decade now, since about 2009, which is really weird to think that that's been a decade since it's been 2009. Makes me shudder, feel old. But, yeah, I've really always enjoyed watching Let's Plays. I don't watch a whole lot of different people, but the people I watch, I've been watching for quite some time. I want to give a shout out to a YouTuber in particular, Nintendo Capri Sun. He was really the first Let's Player I started watching consistently back in 2009, and here I am 10 years later still watching him to this day. He's been a huge inspiration as far as getting started on doing these Let's Plays. So, you know, his videos, his style is a little bit more laid back, I guess. He's not quite as engaging as other Let's Players might be, but I much prefer his style. It's very casual. He's not one of those, like, wow, blah, blah, in your face kind of Let's Players. And I think he's genuinely funny and cool dude. So... I would recommend checking his videos out. They might not be for everybody, but, you know, if you've got the time, just, you know, you might want to even give his Stardew Valley series a watch. Oh, jeez, it's midnight already. Okay, I'm going to hook this fish and go back to the cabin. You know, his Stardew Valley Let's Play is actually what turned me on to this game. Because I had heard of Stardew Valley before, but I never, like, seen anything from it. But then he started playing it, and, you know... I think within the first couple of videos, I was just like, yep, I gotta start playing this game for myself. So, huge props to him for introducing me to this series, or to this game, rather. He's introduced me to a lot of different gaming series, too. Let's see, I'm gonna put these away. Didn't end up needing my seaweed, which is nice. Oh, did I water my crops today? Okay, I did, good. Oh, that really scared me for a moment there. I'll put these away, and yeah, I can sell the rest of this. Alright, and then I'm going to put this driftwood away as well. Alright, so that's all for this video. Thanks once again for tuning in. This is Hexlex, signing out. Have a good day. Oh, wait, but first let's go ahead and see what our profits for the day were. Yeah, again, you see fishing is making really good money. You might have noticed on my first harvest of parsnips, I made about 1,300 gold, as opposed to the, 700 to 1,000 we've been making each day of fishing. I see some heckin' crows down here. But okay, this time I'm actually signing off for real. Once again, thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate that, and have a fantastic day.